So as a task force, we had discussions about it, and we know that this time of the year is important to people. We know that people need this time off. We know that people would want to get together and gather. And that's one of the main issues that we have with coronavirus, right? It's the gathering. It's people not being responsible, getting close together and not doing all of the safety measures. And then what happens is people end up getting sick. And what we don't want to have is a huge outbreak in our community. So we know coronavirus is here. We also know that we cannot stop it. All we can do is mitigate its effects. So once people start to go and shop and come into contact with many people, once people start to gather, then it creates issues and more people get sick. What we're asking people to do in the community is we're strongly recommending that you don't do any travel outside of Quebec. We're asking people that not to travel into zones that are different than ours. Right now we're in a red zone, right? So people are calling it red alert or what have you, but it's a red zone. So we're asking people not to travel into zones that are orange or yellow or anything like that. If you do make those travels and people like DSQ or other policing organizations stop you, they're going to check your license, they're going to check where you live, they're going to see that your address is in a zone that has a red marker on it, right? And then you could open yourself up to infractions, right? Tickets, that means. We don't want anybody to be in that situation, so we're asking people to be diligent about it. Do not travel into zones that are different than the zone that you're in. At the same time, you know, we're discouraging people from traveling outside of Canada. We're discouraging people from traveling outside of the province. I mean, individuals have to make their own informed decisions, and we're asking people to be responsible because they are coming back to our community, and whatever they come into contact with other people, they bring it back here, right? So we're asking people to be smart about it. As far as the EDC organizations go, it's a little bit different for certain workers, right? And peacekeepers as well. So we're asking our employees not to travel outside of the province. Like, it's not permitted, so they cannot travel outside of the province. There's no travel outside of Canada. So again, I just wanted to make sure that people understand, for EDC organizations, do not travel outside of the province of Quebec. I mean, that's the main difference between EDC organizations and the community at large. We also wanted to remind people that if you travel outside of the country, that the Canada Quarantine Act is in effect. So if you travel outside and you come back, you are required to do a 14-day quarantine, self-isolation. If you don't do it, you could open yourself up to additional fines and even court proceedings, right? So usually the border agencies or the RCMP contact us and they ask us to go and check once people cross the border. It's marked, right? Like, people know. So they contact us and they ask us to go and check, and we do check. You know, and then all we do is relay the information back, whatever people are doing. If they are self-isolating, then we report it back. Yes, they are. If they're not, then we have to report it back as well. And then the other organizations go from there, whether they decide to issue a fine or open up court proceedings. That's essentially it. At the end of the day, it's up to the entire community to be responsible. You know, it can't just be the task force. It can't just be one single organization. It's all of us who are responsible for the safety and security of everyone else, each of us essentially in this community.